Hello everyone, hope you're having a good day. Today I'm going to be making a Deathly Hallows themed Mille Feuille. So to start we're going to make the Butterbeer Creme that you can see inside. So to do this we're going to make a caramel. So I've got 100 grams of sugar here that I'm just going to put on the hob and heat until it melts. And in this bowl here I've got 6 egg yolks. To that I'm going to add 35 grams of sugar and then 35 grams of cornstarch. Then I'm just going to beat it together until it becomes fluffy and smooth. So now the sugar's all caramelised, I'm going to add 25 grams of butter and then just stir that together until it combines. You can see it makes a kind of thick butterscotchy caramel sauce here, which is nice, and this will eventually set up, so that's fine, just allow it to set and then we'll move on to the next step. In this mug here I've got 450 millilitres of milk which I've warmed in the microwave. I'm going to add about half to the egg mixture, slowly at first to temper it, and then add in the rest and just continually whisk together. Here's the butterscotch mix. I'm going to add some milk to this. This is going to set and go like really gross and sticky, and it's not going to want to come together, which is fine. I'm going to add all the milk and then put it back on the stove and just heat it until the milk dissolves the butterscotch. Let's do it nicely here, and then we're just going to very slowly dribble this into the egg mixture, continually whisking the whole time. The camera's getting a bit steamy here. This is what we're kind of looking for at the end, just one homogeneous mixture. This is nowhere near thick enough yet, so we're going to pop this back into the pan and then heat it again. So this is going to make our, I'm going to call it Butterbeer Custard, but it's kind of more butterscotch. This is what it looked like after I reduced it. I'm just going to add a little bit of salt here because I think that brings out the flavour quite nicely, and then mix it together. I actually had to reduce this again further because it wasn't thick enough to pipe, but you'll see later on the difference in colour. So for the individual pastry sheets, I made this little template out of a piece of paper. Kind of just drew this up together to look like the Deathly Hallows. And then you can make your own puff pastry, but it's easy enough to buy shop bought. It takes quite a long time to make on your own, and this recipe is already quite involved, so I recommend just buying some from the shop. I've just rolled it out into about the thickness of a 2p coin, quite thin because it'll puff up in the oven, and then I'm just tracing out my template. I'm going to make 3 mille feuille, so I've got 2 layers in each, so 6 pieces in total. We want to keep these as flat as possible during the cooking process, so I'm going to pop on another sheet of greaseproof paper and then a second baking sheet. Also, I'll put this in the freezer for a little bit just to chill, to kind of prevent as much spreading as possible. So I popped this in the freezer, brought it out for 10 minutes so the pans could warm up, and then I put it into an oven preheated to 190 degrees for 10 minutes. So now I'm going to prepare the chocolate for the top. So this is greaseproof paper that I've cut out using that same template, and I've just stuck it to the work surface with a tiny bit of chocolate. So I've tempered the dark chocolate I'm using here so we get a nice shiny finish and a good snap. So I've spread that over the top of the greaseproof paper. I'm just going to peel them off individually once the chocolate's kind of thickened up a little bit. Transfer that to the side, you can see got a nice outline. So the greaseproof paper method didn't actually work, so I actually used the outside of a piping bag. You'll see here this blue thing. It's like a big piping bag that I've just chopped the end off of. It's very satisfying. You can just see me gently peeling all of this off. Because the chocolate's tempered, it's super shiny. Being very careful here because I don't want to snap any of them. I didn't make extras. And then this is the pastry after it came out of the oven. It kind of warped a little bit, but I like that. It's kind of funky. So now we're ready to assemble everything. In this piping bag here I've got that butterscotch custard that I thickened up a little bit by reducing even further. And then I'm just going to pipe little dots all the way along the top of each of the pastries. You can see me doing it here. It took me a while to get the technique down, but just after a bit of practice you'll nail it. And then I'm just going to place one on top of the other, stacking them gently, like that. I think it looks quite good. And then just repeated that with the other pieces as well. And finally, to top them off, I'm going to place this dark chocolate on top. Again, being very careful here because it's quite delicate. This is the fanciest dessert I've ever done. It's quite a challenge for me. I've always wanted to make mille feuille, so it's definitely one to take off the list. And there we go, that's them finished. I thought I'd just add a little bit of extra magic to these by dusting them with icing sugar. On the camera here you can't really see the detail of the Deathly Hallows. And this icing sugar really helps that pop out. And it's the best bit, so here we have that nice crunch of the dark chocolate and all the pastry layers, crispy. I wasn't expecting it, but the butterscotch and the dark chocolate go really well together. The butterscotch is kind of sweet and salty, and then the dark chocolate just brings an extra little bit of bitterness. It's like quite well rounded, I think. So yeah, I really enjoyed making these ones, and I enjoyed eating them too. So there we have the final shot. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I really enjoyed making it. It's the whole process, it took me like a whole day to do this. There were a lot of challenges. The dark chocolate took a while to get right, so the cream as well, that took ages, and then cutting out the individual moulds, it was all very satisfying. I was quite pleased with the final result, very happy. I had finished this at like midnight last night. So yeah, it was like a nice treat after all that hard work to dig into one of these. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed the video, and I look forward to seeing you next time. I've got one more Harry Potter video lined up, so I hope you can catch that one. See you next time.